Hello again. We're going to continue our discussion on modules. Okay, so let's get right into it. So, we're going to talk about testing modules. So, we want to create user defined modules with proper tests built into the module. So, recall our first module. So, I only filled in these two functions. Um, so, we created test cases for most of these functions. So, we had test cases for some even and odd. Um, so now add this test code to the module. The module works, but is really incomplete with them. Okay. So notice the comments. It's not very useful to have test cases if you do not indicate what the expected results need to be. All right. So we have the main function, and we have two test cases, and so we have this comment here. So this is a test case for some even. So we have a list of numbers 0, 1, 5, 10, 50. And so we want to call some even on each of these numbers and then print out the result. And so here in the comment we have what we're expecting to see. So this is one way of doing it, but we'll learn the better way that it's done by using actual testing um, modules or libraries, right? So here's what we expect to see. We expect to see 0 to 30, 110, 200, 2,550. And then this is what we expect for the odd. So that's just an example of a test case. So sometimes it's more useful to add expected and actual results at the very end of the module after the line, um, the if line. So, okay, let's read that again so we understand. Sometimes it is more useful to add expected and actual results at the very end of the module. So, so let's look through real quickly. So this is just the main function, and we have a test case, and let's see what we're doing. So we're testing add, multiply, and subtract and divide. So in this loop, we're remember these regular brackets. These are tuples, right? So we're testing out these different tuples. So okay, so yes, so num1 is gonna be the first number in the tuple. Num2 is gonna be the second number in the tuple, right? Okay, so that's what's happening, right? So think about the first iteration. The first iteration, we're going to be looking at this tuple, and in this tuple, in position 0, we're going to put in whatever number that is, which is 0, and then number 2 in position 1 is going to be 0 here. Now we're going to do the addition. So we're going to print out the result of adding the numbers 0 and 0. We're going to have a space there, and then we're going to have equals, um, and then we're gonna have equals there. Okay, so we print. Okay, then we do another test. So these tests are okay, and then we do another test. So we have two different test cases, and we're looking at remainder and integer division. Okay, and then here we're running it. So and then here we have all the comments of like what we expect the output to look like. So this is so we have comments. So here, sometimes it's used to add. So sometimes it's more useful to add expected and actual results. So here's our expected results in comments. So we expect um, to get an error for division by zero based on how the functions were written. Um, let's see. Okay. And then here's the actual results of what we got. So the actual results closely match what we expected, but there's some errors here, like in this line here, or wait, no, it's the same. It's just that the amount of significant digits are different. So it looks like everything's working as expected. So now this module is exactly what it needs to be. It is a Python program that contains several functions that are somehow related to each other. It contains a main function that holds all of the tests for the functions contained inside the module. The main program of the module simply contains these two lines. So if you have any questions before continuing, think about these and then write them down and have them ready for Friday. So now it's your turn. So write a module called operations.py. Um, Add all these functions in there. So no, these three functions here, division, remainder, integer division, should check that y is not zero because that is you can't divide by zero. Okay, so then it says you want to throw an error to the user. And then write a main function for the module that tests these functions with appropriate test cases and use uh, this structure for the main program to ensure that the test cases are only run when the module is expected, not when it is imported. When the module is executed, not when it is imported. Okay, operations.py. So the file that you've just created, the module that you've just created with all these functions in there. So notice anything strange about the expected results of each of your tests with the different mathematical operations. What do you think is going on? So think about this question um, when you finish writing the test and you've run it and you're checking your expected and actual results. And then think about, well, and try to answer the question, what do you think is going on? And then bring that forward on Friday as well so we can discuss it. Okay, so there are issues with floating point numbers. Remember, floating point numbers are decimal numbers, and arithmetic in general with most programming languages, and Python is no exception. You need to be aware of this scenario, even though it will not be on any test in this course. Do you think we could automate our testing? What do you think this means? Take a look at the provided operations.py module posted on the class website. It may give you some ideas going forward with your testing efforts. Okay, so disregard this part. Okay, so I believe that's all for this discussion on testing. Um, Now remember, I kind of cover the theoretical material and sometimes do a little bit of examples in the videos, but Fridays are really for in-depth code execution and testing and practice. So Friday is the time for you guys to show up with questions and we can go through the questions. We can go through code, um, so you can see the examples live and direct. Okay. All right. So I'll see you guys in the next one.